So the second part of human female reproductive system is the fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes. They're also called as uterine tubes or oviducts. Fallopian tubes or uterine tubes or oviducts. Fallopian tubes are again, there are two in number, or we can say a pair of fallopian tubes are there. This is the fallopian tube. You can see from this diagram, fallopian tube one side, and this is another side, another fallopian tube of another side. This portion. This is femurity end. This again femurity end. It is connected. One side of it is connected to the ovary, and another side that gets connected with this uterus from this portion. So what actually these fallopian tubes are? We can say fallopian tubes are I said you they are a pair in number or two in number. They are muscular tubes. They are actually muscular tubes. Almost muscular tubes. Almost about 10 to 12 centimeters in length. About 10 to 12 centimeters in length. So the fallopian tubes, they measure 10 to 12 centimeters, and one end, you see here, one end of this fallopian tube, it is attached to the ovary, or we can say one end of each oviduct or the fallopian tube, it is attached, it lies close, in close contact with the ovary of its side. This is the fallopian tube. It lies in close contact with the ovary of its side, and the other end is just that opens here. You can see that opens here into this uterus. That opens into the uterus. So far as the wall of this fallopian tube, walls of or the wall of, you can say single tube. There in pair we talk of a single tube. Wall of the fallopian tube has three layers. Wall of the fallopian tube has three layers. It is composed of three layers, and these three layers are, one is mucosa layer, mucosa, mucosa, and second it is muscularis, muscularis, and third layer it is the serosa, serosa, serosa. So far as the mucosa, it is the luminal layer. That means it's the innermost layer. Mucosa forms the luminal surface, an inner surface of the oviduct. So this is the mucosa is the innermost, or it forms the luminal surface of the oviduct. This mucosa, it is having two types of cells are there. Mucosa layer has two types of cells. This is having two types of cells. One type of cell that is ciliated, and another secretory. In a mucosa layer that forms the luminal layer, the innermost layer of the fallopian tube or the oviduct, In the mucosa layer, there are two types of cells. We are having ciliated cells and secretory cells. Cilia of the ciliated cells, they create a slow current inside the lumen, while as the secretory cells, they are for nourishing and for protective secretions. Then there is second layer of this fallopian tube, that is the muscularis. It is the middle layer made up of smooth muscles. It is the middle layer. Muscularis is the middle layer inside this fallopian tube. This is the middle layer and is composed of smooth muscles. These smooth muscles actually they produce a wave of contraction. Actually, a moment of when we talk of digestive system, there is a sort of moment peristalsis. Again, here is a sort of contraction and relaxation moment inside the fallopian tube to convey the egg towards the other parts for the purpose of fertilization. So the muscularis, which is the middle layer of smooth muscles, this produces a wave of contraction. Then there is the third layer, that is the serosa layer. Serosa layer, it is the outermost layer. Outermost layer of fallopian tube or oviduct, it is made up of visceral peritoneum. It is made up of visceral peritoneum. So far as the parts of fallopian tube are concerned, what are the various parts of? Somewhere you can see there are 3 parts mentioned in some books, and somewhere you can say there are the 4 parts. So fallopian tube or fallopian tubes, they consist of 4 parts. We'll talk of 4 parts. Here, this is a finger-like or funnel-shaped part. This is the infundibulum. Infundibulum. Then there is ampulla, second part, the ampulla, and there is the third part, the isthmus, that is isthmus, and the fourth part, that is the uterine part. So we can say fallopian tube or oviduct, it consists of 4 parts. We are having the infundibulum, second is the ampulla, third is the isthmus, and fourth one is the uterine part. So far as the infundibulum is concerned, it is the funnel shaped, fimbriated part. It is the funnel shaped, fimbriated end. We can say this is the free end of the fallopian tube. Infundibulum is what? It is funnel shaped, fimbriated, free end of the fallopian tube, which is in close intimacy, close contact of this ovary. Then there is the ampulla. This is the ampulla. Ampulla, we can say this is the widest and the longest part of the fallopian tube. Ampulla. After infundibulum, there is ampulla part or the ampullary part, which is the widest and the longest part of the fallopian tube. Then we are having, it is ampulla is followed by isthmus. Isthmus part is the short part. Short, narrow and thick walled portion. Short, narrow and thick walled portion of the fallopian tube, that is the isthmus. That is the isthmus. And this portion is the uterine part. Fourth part is the uterine part. This part passes into uterus. This part passes into the uterus. Which part? That is the uterine part. The uterine part this portion, it controls actually the passage of ovum through muscular movement. It controls the passage of ova through muscular movement. This was about the parts of fallopian tube. Again comes the functions. What are the functions of fallopian tubes? Or we can say the oviductus, or we can say the uterine tubes. Function of fallopian tubes. Function is to convey the ovum. Function of the fallopian tube is to convey the ovum in the form of secondary oocyte from the ovary to the uterus. To the uterus. In case fertilization takes place, this is again the site for fertilization. Fallopian tube is also the site for fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of male gamete, that is sperm, with the egg. The site for fertilization, this is the fallopian tube, especially the ampullary part, or we can say in between this ampulla and isthmus. We can say this is the junction between ampulla and isthmus, or we can say AI junction, ampullary isthmic junction or ampullary isthmus junction, or the ampullary portion, because this is the widest and longest part of the fallopian tube is the ampulla. So the site for fertilization is this AI junction, commonly we call as AI junction. So the functions of fallopian tube, it is first is to convey the ovum from the ovary to the uterus. Second, it acts as a site for fertilization. Now we are having the next part of human female reproductive system, that is the uterus.